It doesn't take much for us to lose our lives. All that we have to do is lose connection to our breath. We know this. And yet it wasn't until a global pandemic that we finally took heed to this phenomenon. After all, the breath is the very first thing that we take into our bodies, and it's the last thing that goes out as we depart. While this may seem intuitive, this simple yet complex system of vital organs and bone structure we call the breathing chamber, comprised of the lungs, rib cage, trachea, and diaphragm, remains widely misunderstood, goes overlooked, and is underused. It is true. Breathing requires little to no effort from us. It's an involuntary function, driven by the autonomic nervous system on which we cycle on average 20,000 breaths per day. But how many of these breaths can we say are relaxing, relieving, medicinal, restorative? How many opportunities throughout the course of the day do we miss out on taking our deepest, most fullest, and optimal of breath? Come, let's just take a collective breath together. Meet me right there at the edge of your seat. Feel yourself sitting directly on top of your sits bones. Now feel your feet in that heel or sock and shoe. Now press. Go with a sense of elevation and rise from your low back, lumbar spine, thoracic, mid-back, upper, cervical spine, from the nape of the neck, as if a hairline string were lifting you higher and higher. Drop the shoulders. Place your right hand beneath your belly button and your left hand at the sternum and chest. In 3 counts, we'll inhale together, and in 3 counts, we'll exhale to release. Let's begin. Filling up on 3, 2, 1. Part the lips, open the mouth, exhale, release. 2, 1. Rest. Doesn't that feel good? I mean, who knew that it took all of this? That posture is so key. That it takes more time than we think. That breathing is an expression of a deep-seated awareness. I mean, I only came to realize this for myself after having started a lucrative career in dance, performance, theater, and a bit of television. After college, I moved to the windy city of Chicago, where I landed the role of Tantamile in Cats on regional Broadway. And like anyone, I did my best to get by. Or as we often say, I pushed through. And oh, did I push. I pushed myself so far, I nearly exhausted my adrenal gland. I mean, not to mention 16-hour days, 2.5-hour commutes. I thought that the will of my youth and determination to thrive would surpass my lungs' tussle with air pollution in one of the most concentrated cities in the country. out of time, and often out of breath. That was it. I decided. I would embark upon a journey of relearning my body and discovering just how to breathe. I studied with master energy healers, teachers, guides, practitioners, therapists, and even one of Washington, D.C.'s own breathing Sekou, Ayo Handy Kendi. Today, as a certified optimal life breathologist, I do just that. I teach people how to breathe. Now, what we did just now scratches the surface. But as a gyrotonic instructor, gyrokinesis trainer, and full spectrum doula, I work closely with mothers. You see, breath work is empowering during a time where their bodies are constantly changing, where they may be seeking alternative forms of pain management or simply to induce labor the natural way. Observe. The breath holds exponential power. Its ability to alter blood chemistry, stabilize moods, regulate our heartbeat, bring balance and equilibrium to both regions of the brain, and even direct the course of neural pathways for enhanced motor skills and metacognitive behavior. It's also incredible. I mean, let's talk about the role that oxygenation plays in the production of healthy red blood cells across the board. Studies from NIH and Harvard Medicine, Johns Hopkins University, and NYU, just to name a few. Experts talk about the fact that a body deprived of oxygen in either the bloodstream or the tissues is a body in grave danger of worsening pre-existing health conditions. While on the other hand, oxidization restores, renews, and revives the body. It's as author and psychiatrist Christopher André of Saint-Anne's Hospital Center in Paris states, breathing is the solar power that is energizing for relaxation. It's free, inexhaustible, and easy to use. Yes, breath work optimizes performance in times of rigor, executive decision-making, and great challenges. But it's accessible to anyone who is willing to learn, like my client B. You see, B was an internationally renowned attorney, loving husband and father. But before the age of 60, he had a stroke. I approached the family with a proposition to include breath work in his recovery plan, and within a mere few weeks, B's PT, OT, and PCP wanted to know what was he doing at home that was putting paralysis to shame. Leaves you to wonder, if the breath is so key, why the disconnect? Where do we fall on the spectrum of breath awareness within our lifespan? And how might we be contributing to our very own death of breath? Let me take you back. Conception. In the first trimester, a mother will need to get plenty of rest. Baby relies solely on her placenta for vital nutrients and to breathe. At birth, we'll want to keep babies on their backs instead of in prone position on their bellies face down, covering their nose and mouth. Keep excessive pillows, bedding, all of these plush things out of the way of their sleep to avoid suffocation, or worse, SIDS. Babies know how to do this. They have it down to a science. If you notice, they're lying on their backs in a deep, blissful please. Their bellies rise as they inhale and fall with every exhale. We could learn a thing or two. As children, the world of breath opens up to us. Sounds, expression. Of joy. And even in sadness and disappointment, you can feel the coolness at the roof of the mouth between each gasp and whimper. It's at this stage of our lives that we use the fullest capacity of our lung span. It's when we become teenagers that our breathing starts to deplete. We'll slump. Look cool. Scroll, texting, typing, keeping up with the latest trends, cutting off our airways and shortening the circulation. Researchers say, on average, 4 to 6 hours per day. But as adults, we know how to put our shoulders back and hold our heads high. It's cultural. It's an air of confidence. But really, it's a sign of shallow chest breathing. Power, status, money, what we know, who we know, what we drive, all of these things take precedence over stillness for maybe 10-minute breathing exercise. No. We'll have a smoke. Go out for happy hour, you know. Don't get me wrong. 1 or 2 of these is fine. But it's the addiction. The excessive use of and overconsumption of these things that's harmful to the lungs, leading to conditions like sleep apnea, chronic bronchitis, adult respiratory distress syndrome, pneumonia, COPD. In our golden years at 50 to 65, we finally take it easy. Who cares about how tight-fitting the clothes are or keeping up? We'll rise early in the day just to catch our breath. As seniors, we're likely to fall asleep in the middle of the day or even in the middle of a conversation. Dozing off is a natural part of aging. These micro-sleep episodes, it's called, is a sign that the circadian rhythm is no longer governed by the light of the sun, but more a biological, internal clock that says it's time to rest. At 80 to 90, we prepare to take our final breaths. Life is precious again, just as it were when we were babies. The diaphragm muscle isn't as strong, and depending on our life's decisions, medical equipment may be required to breathe. We take our last breath. The cycle of life, death, and rebirth repeats. This we cannot change. But what we can do is change our relationship to breath. So today I invite you, pause, take more time to breathe. Learn the basic skills of breathing to deepen your practice. Pass the torch of breath awareness on to the next generation. And take more time to just sit and breathe in an optimal way.